Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Formlabs Fall 2024 event. We have a long list of awesome products to tell you about today, and we're going to kick it off with some SLA products, moving on to some of our SLS product line announcements, then on to a bunch of really cool features in PreForm, and finally, Max, our CEO, is going to cover a totally new thing called the developer platform. But before we dive into all of these exciting products, I want to tell you what happened 6 months ago. Of course, we released the Form 4, the fastest, most reliable SLA printer out there. But reliability, it really isn't something that is talked about enough. And there's really not a perfect way to talk about it because there isn't a clear way to measure it. So we took a big challenge. We worked with a third-party recognized testing lab, Intertech, and we developed a protocol. And this protocol goes through printing a number of different products and a number of different setups to really get to the heart of which printer performs better when it comes to reliability. And the results speaks for themselves. The Form 4 has a 99% print success rate, way ahead of everybody else. This is amazing. We are going to publish all of these results along with the protocol so other manufacturers can run these as well, so we can really compare in the market how different companies are doing. The Form 4 is using 2 times as much resin, printing twice as many parts as our previous generation printer. And we're not just seeing a lot of parts, we are also selling twice as many printers, which to me means that there are 4 times as many Formlabs parts out there if I compare to the Form 3. This is amazing. This is pretty much the best way that we can measure success. The number of parts out there is directly proportional to how much impact we're making in the world. But these positivity are not just in the numbers. We can hear it from reviewers and customers as well. TechRadar gave us a 5-star review calling the Form 4 the most reliable, high quality, and least messy printer out there. And our customers are loving it. Bruno from Ford says the Form 4 is not just a better printer than anything else that they have used, it's changing the way that they have worked. And in 6 months, we've changed so many other companies like Microsoft, like Black Diamond, Hasbro, Bayer Dental, and NASA. These are all customers that are just in love with their printers and they're being very successful. So customers love really everything about the Form 4 except one thing. Not everything can fit on the build platform. And that's why I'm really excited to tell you about our new product, the Form 4L. I am super proud of this product, but I'm going to have Derek Willem, our product manager who was responsible for this product, to tell you more.
Form 4L is big, but it's not just big. It's fast, reliable, and incredibly easy to use. To start, let's have a look at a print that came off the Form 4L. This part printed in just under 4 hours. A part this big with Form 4L's reliability and speed has never been possible before on a 3D printer until now. Our customers have been asking us for a large format printer for a while. In fact, Form 4L will be our 2nd generation large format 3D printer. Form 3L, our 1st generation large format printer, launched in 2021. This machine printed tens of millions of prints for our customers across a range of industries, and we learned a ton from this printer. So when we set out to design Form 4L, we took everything that we learned from the 1st generation printer, the tens of millions of parts printed, field reports from thousands of printers printing in the field daily, and hundreds of hours of customer interviews. And we spent 3 years working with over 186 engineers and made over 100 prototypes before we got to Form 4L. And it's amazing. The most amazing thing about Form 4L is that it's huge. 5 times larger than Form 4 and 13% larger than Form 3L. That means you can print large parts like the steering wheel on a car. But large build volumes are also useful for printing large quantities of parts. You can also use Form4L to increase efficiencies by printing hundreds of parts on the same build to do volume production without the cost or lead time of traditional tooling. Form4L can produce nearly 700 of these medical instruments that are used for patient surgeries in one day on just one printer. Form4L isn't just large though, it's blazing fast, 3 to 4 times faster than Form3L. What previously took 24 hours or sometimes more can now be done in under 6 hours. You can print large parts like this seat prototype in our fast model resin in under 3 hours, or more than 40 small parts in our general purpose resins in just over 4 hours. Our high performance engineering materials are also faster, with this full-size lacrosse head printing in under 5 hours. That means you can deliver large parts confidently within a normal 8-hour workday, enabling faster turnaround times and more iteration cycles. It's also an extremely productive printer. Looking at full-size orthodontic models, you can print 32 models in just 13 minutes, or over 3,500 orthodontic models per day on one machine. You can also print parts for low volume production runs. The damper bracket, mixer latch, and dispense arm are all parts that are on the Form4 printer. You can print over 1,000 of these parts on a single Form4L printer in one day. But we all know that speed doesn't matter without reliability. Knowing that your printer is always ready and will produce a successful print is incredibly important, which is why we've completely re-engineered every part of the printer to create a tool that everyone can depend on. The new backlight and light processing unit print reliably for hundreds of thousands of layers, and most customers will never need to replace them. But if you do, they're easily replaceable. The new conductive resin heaters directly heat the resin tank, which results in faster and more accurate resin temperature control. We have a new mixer design that's mechanically coupled and ensures consistent material performance across all resins, including highly viscous and highly filled materials. And we have totally re-engineered the resin tanks with a focus on durability, reliability, and long-lasting material performance across any Formlabs material. On top of that, Form4L is affordable, with 41% lower cost per part than Form3L. To achieve this, we've lowered the price of our general purpose and fast model resins to just $79 per liter, and tough and durable resins are now just $149 per liter. The Form4L resin tank now lasts over 75,000 layers with any Formlabs material, and we've lowered the price to $249. In manufacturing, scale usually drives complexity. It's generally harder to use the tools that make large parts than smaller ones. But Form4L is just as easy to use as the Form4 or any other product in the Formlabs ecosystem. In fact, it's so intuitive that after a quick demo, you'll feel like an expert user. So let's get started. I'm going to walk through the process of starting a print and take some time to talk about the accessory products that are part of the Form4L ecosystem. Today, we're going to print a full-size steering wheel on the Form4L. I need 3 things to get the print started: a build platform, a resin tank, and cartridges. Let's load these up. I'll start with the build platform. This is the part that holds your 3D prints during printing. For this print, we'll use build platform Flex L, which is a flexible build platform that allows you to quickly and easily remove parts from the build platform just by pressing these tabs and flexing the print surface. No tools needed. I'll insert the build platform into the printer, and we can hear that it's registered by the printer, and I'll close the latch. Done. Next up is the resin cartridge. We deliver our industry-leading materials in cartridges that you insert into the side of the machine and are automatically dispensed by the printer, so you don't have to interact with the resin at all. Form4L uses the same next-generation cartridges as the Form4 printer for better cross-compatibility. These new cartridges can fill your printer 5 to 10 times faster than our previous generation cartridges. We've also redesigned them with sustainability in mind. They use 63% less plastic packaging waste than our previous cartridges. So I'll put this into the printer now, and I'll add our second cartridge, and we're ready to go. One thing we've noticed about Form4L is that it can consume a ton of resin. With the combination of speed, build volume, and reliability, we're seeing our early release users use more resin than ever before. As a result, we're introducing the resin pumping system for the Form4 and 4L ecosystem. The resin pumping system seamlessly delivers 5 liters of resin through a pumping system into the printer's resin tank. This means you can go longer and print more parts before needing to switch cartridges or reorder resin. Buying resin in 5-liter containers also allows you to unlock bulk resin pricing on Formlabs SLA resin. Next, we have the resin tank. The resin tank has been completely redesigned on Form 4L to maximize durability, reliability, and longevity. It has a dual layer film, which ensures that it has the flexibility needed for low peel forces, and also the durability on the bottom surface needed to resist damage and maximize tank lifetime. After each layer printed on an inverted SLA printer, there's a peel stage where the part is peeled off of the tank film before the next layer of the print is printed. The lifetime of the resin tank is defined by how well it can resist these peel forces over tens of thousands of layers printed. To demonstrate just how durable the resin tanks are on Form 4L, I'm going to compare our tank film to an industry standard single layer film design. We're going to do an accelerated lifetime testing. We're going to attach a suction cup to the tank film and use it to hang a 40-pound kettlebell off of our tank film. So I'm going to attach a suction cup, this suction cup, to the tank film. And then I'll use the tank film to lift this 40-pound kettlebell. So I can lift the kettlebell with the tank film. And when I remove the suction cup, we can see that the film is still tensioned and that there are no wrinkles in the tank film. I could put this into a printer and continue to print on this tank. Now let's do the same test on the industry standard single film design. So I'll attach the suction cup to the tank film, and then attach the kettlebell to the suction cup. I'll lift the kettlebell. As we can see, there's significant tank wrinkling in this film. This tank is ruined. There's no more prints that are going to be able to be done on this tank. With that done, let's do the last step. Let's add the resin tank to the printer. So we'll insert the resin tank into the printer, firmly close the tank latches, and insert the mixer and close the mixer latch. Great. This printer is set up and ready to go. Let's hop over to PreForm and send our part to the printer. Every print starts in PreForm. PreForm is our free software which is packed full of automation features to get anyone started in minutes. First, we'll start by selecting a printer and choosing from one of our more than 30 materials and layer height settings. We can click Apply, and now we'll import a job into this build scene. PreForm is full of different features that will help you set up your job, automatically orient your parts, and generate supports to best create a reliable and amazing looking part. You can click one-click print to do the orientation and support generation for you, or if you're a more advanced user, there are the settings available for you to select and modify to suit your application. Now that our supports are generated for this specific job, we're ready to go. If we click Print Now, this print will start running without us even needing to go to the printer. Let's click Add to Queue so we can start this printer from the printer's touch UI. Great, the job's been uploaded to the printer. At this point, I can go to the printer, select the job, and start printing. This is a great time to talk about Dashboard, our cloud platform that allows you to track the printers in your fleet, see the timelines of jobs that are in progress, check accessories and consumables needed, and even schedule prints ahead of time. Dashboard lets you stay on top of your printers from anywhere and is a great way to monitor your printers. Now that our print has started, I want to talk a bit about the sensors that help us achieve such an incredible print success rate. We've designed this machine around reliability. There are 6 sensor loops keeping track of exactly what's happening inside the printer at all times. There's a force sensor on the Z-axis that actively monitors and controls the peel and squish cycle. The mixer has integrated force sensors that mix the resin and check for debris in the resin tank. We have sensors monitoring resin level and resin temperature of the resin in the tank at all times. And we have a brand new feature, a high definition camera that will capture a picture of your finished part and can create an amazing time lapse of your parts as they print. We loved seeing the incredible time-lapse videos that our Form 4 users have shared with us, and we're super excited to see the bigger and better time lapses from the Form 4L printer. This is a great opportunity to take a step back and talk about one of the most unique parts of our ecosystem, our materials. We have a materials portfolio of over 30 unique materials developed, formulated, and manufactured in-house by our world-class material scientists. We have a huge team inside Formlabs whose job it is to dial in over 300 different settings on the printer for every material and every layer printed. This is one of the big reasons why we can achieve such an amazing print success rate on our printers. To demonstrate just how great these materials are, I'm going to pass it off to Pari, one of our material product managers, who's going to talk a bit more about our materials.
Hi, my name is Pari, and I'm a materials product manager working on the SLA resin portfolio. The first material I'm going to be talking about today is ClearCast. ClearCast was announced in September, and it's a great fit for the Form 4L applications. ClearCast allows foundries to print investment casting patterns like these that can then be turned into high-value metal parts like these in stainless steel 316L. It's very interesting to see how 3D printed patterns can be integrated into the larger manufacturing process to produce critical components like these for the aerospace and automotive industries. Next, I'm going to do a more hands-on demo, so I'll move these off to the side. And I want to talk about our engineering resins. So this is a hammer printed in Tough 2K. So it's a life-size hammer, and I'm going to use this hammer to nail into a block of wood. So I have 2 pieces of wood here. I'm going to nail this with this hammer. This did a pretty good job of nailing the 2 blocks of wood together. Tough 2K is our most rugged and strongest material in our engineering resin material portfolio. Hammering nails is fun, but you know what's even more fun? It's chopping wood. I'm going to move these off now and show you this axe printed in the Durable V 2.1 resin on Form 4L. So I'm going to use this axe to chop this piece of wood with precision. That was very satisfying. Durable is our most impact-resistant material in the SLA material portfolio. Lastly, I want to touch more about dimensional accuracy and part fit. So far, you've seen how amazing the mechanical properties are. To our users, dimensional accuracy and part fit is just as important. So here's a scooter from one of our beta testers for the Form 4L Radio Flyer. So as you can see, the scooter has an injection molded base plate that I'm going to take off and show you the 3D printed counterpart. So this was printed on the Form 4L in fast model resin. Now I'm going to insert this 3D printed component into the scooter. As you can see, this base plate is a perfect fit. I hope you enjoyed our demos. Let's get back into the print workflow.
That was awesome. Now that our print is in progress, let's talk about post-processing. This is the part of the workflow that most 3D printing companies don't show you because it can be messy and unpleasant. But Formlabs post-processing products have done a lot to remove the mess and headache from the resin printing workflow. The first post-processing step is to wash our print in Form Wash-L. Form Wash-L is our automated washing solution, and we've updated it to be even better for Form 4L. It's now compatible with the Form 3 and Form 4 generation build platforms, and we've also increased the agitation by 1.5 times to make sure that your parts come out clean every time. So we'll take our build platform over to Wash-L, we'll place it on the forks, and we'll click Start. This is a great time to talk about a product that we launched a few weeks ago, Resin Washing Solution. Resin Washing Solution is an alternative to isopropyl alcohol, or IPA. This is a solvent that's very common for resin printing. It's highly volatile, so it smells bad. It evaporates, and it's flammable. Our customers have been asking for a solution to these problems for years, and I'm happy to say that we've found a formulation that works great. Resin Washing Solution cleans as well as IPA, but can dissolve nearly twice as much resin before becoming saturated. It also has a lower evaporation rate and is also non-flammable. This means that you can reduce the frequency at which you're changing your wash solvent and also use a solvent that is safe for any work environment. All right, so the next step in the process is support removal. First, I'm going to use Build Platform Flex to remove this printed part from the build platform. So I'll put the build platform up on edge and I'll press the part release tabs. And just like that, the part comes off the build platform. Next, I'll remove the supports from the part. We've tuned our light touch supports so that they're both incredibly reliable and also easy to remove. The last step is to cure the part. Curing improves the mechanical properties of our printed part. For this, we'll use FormCure, which has presets for all of our materials that make it quick and easy to use. We'll insert the part into FormCure, click Start, and that's it. We have a whole ecosystem that helps you go from digital design to physical part. We have Form 4L, a new Form Wash L, accessories, consumables, and all the materials you know and love. As we've done for the Form 3L series printer, we also have a Form 4BL for dental and medical users that enable more than 14 additional biocomp materials. And if you run into any issues, you have an amazing support team who can always take care of you. We worked really hard on this product, but at the end of the day, what matters most is what our users think. And the early response for Form 4L has been overwhelmingly positive. Archer, an aerospace company developing electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, said Form 4L has been a revolution for them. It allows them to confidently tackle last-minute requests for large printed parts. And Radio Flyer said the speed and dimensional accuracy have made a huge difference for their prototyping shop. So this is Form 4L. It's blazing fast, able to produce most parts in under 6 hours. It's incredibly reliable, and it's more affordable to operate than ever before. We're really excited to be launching this product at $9,999, and we'll start making deliveries on October 31st. I'm really excited about all the work that's gone into Form 4L, but SLA printing is just one part of Formlabs. To talk about the exciting developments happening on our SLS platform, I'll pass it off to Matt to talk about our Fuse product line.
Hi, I'm Matt, product manager on our Fuse product line. Our customers rely on Fuse every day to deliver rugged, strong, and durable parts. And thanks to our growing materials portfolio, we've given them more options to do that than ever before. But our customers need more. They need parts that not only stand up to the toughest jobs, but that can also blend in seamlessly into the world around them. They need parts that are built for both form and function. Now, we've made huge strides in that area already with the Fuse Blast polishing system, which lets you take your parts from rugged workhorse to consumer grade, die-ready, end-use surface finish. But that's still not enough. Our customers need parts that they can drop in anywhere, with more options for color, form, and finish than they've ever had before. And yes, our powders can create beautiful, strong, end-use parts, but there's only so many places you can go with gray. What our customers need is a blank canvas. They need white nylon. For the first time on an SLS printer under $100,000, Formlabs customers will be able to print clean, pristine, white parts with nylon 12 white, opening up a whole range of new applications, from healthcare and medical to high-fidelity prototyping and end-use consumer parts. And while white is great, it's only sometimes the right color for the right job. Its real value is to give customers a blank canvas that they can use to access a whole palette of new colors. And with a quick, easy process, Formlabs customers will be able to go from that blank canvas to a vibrant, colored part in just a matter of minutes. Now, let's look at how that can happen. All you need is a little bit of this powdered dye, like this RIT Pro dye. You're going to need an immersion circulator, like this one right here, that's already been brought to temperature. And you need your white part. So once we've already got this up to temp, all we have to do is drop this right in. And then we wait. When this is hitting the right time to get that color or saturation we want, we're just going to pull it out. Now, while we're waiting for that part to dye, we've been talking a lot about form, but what about function? Well, if you thought nylon 12 was already tough, we're stepping up our game again with nylon 12 tough. For the thousands of customers that rely on nylon 12 every day for the most demanding applications, they need more. They need more tough, more affordable, and more reliable. And with nylon 12 tough, we've delivered yet again, with dramatic improvements in ductility, refresh rate, and dimensional stability for parts you can rely on day in and day out. Now, I'm really excited about all the new applications our customers will have access to. But before we wrap this up, let's check in on our dyed part. So this has been going for about 2 minutes, and all we have to do is pull the part out and look at that deep color and give it a bit of a rinse. So we're just getting off all of that loose dye which accumulated while I was sitting in the bath. And usually you'll give it a few minutes to dry off. All we're gonna do is put it down here and give it a pat. And look at that. We've gone from a clean, pristine white to a deep, vibrant blue in just a matter of minutes. With our Nylon 12 white and our Nylon 12 tough powders, our materials are now more performant and versatile than ever, giving our customers more opportunities to bring their ideas to life than ever before. And while these materials really shine at the end of the part creation process, for the average developer, everything starts with software. And we have a bunch of new, exciting PreForm features to talk about. So for that, I'm going to hand it off to Adrian.
Hi, I'm Adrian, an engineering manager here at Formlabs. Print preparation is a really important part of 3D printing, and we're always trying to process parts faster, easier, and more successfully. In particular, we've heard a lot of feedback from our customers that they want PreForm to be a one-stop shop for print preparation. I'm really excited to announce that PreForm just got way more powerful with 5 brand new features: part hollowing, drain holes, labeling, texturing, and part cages. To introduce these features, I'm going to demo them using an automotive steering wheel that might be printed on the Form 4L. So first, we're going to take this big model and hollow it out. I'm going to give my part a 3mm wall and a low detail. The interior finish will be low. Now you can see we actually have a fully hollowed part as I drag the viewer up and down. This is great for 2 reasons. It saves material in general. You can do more with less. Second, with large parts, you can use fewer support structures, which will save you time on cleanup. You can see down here in the corner that the total material was 404 milliliters. And if you look at it now, it's 177 milliliters, about a 55% reduction in resin for this part. But this highlights another problem. Anyone who's hollowed a part knows that you will get cups. Previously, what was happening to alleviate cups is that people were taking their models outside of PreForm to add drain holes. So we said, why not bring drain holes inside of PreForm and have a one-stop shop? So I come over here. You will see that I don't have to select the depth. It'll be automatic for my hole. I want to put it on the bottom of my model. I'll put a second one on the steering wheel. And I will click apply. So the hollowing I've done now here automatically accounts for the outside at 3mm, so you don't have to think about drain holes anymore. You can see them on the bottom here. Right. Now, let's add a logo. What you will see when you first open our labeling feature is a default label that will match the file name. I'm going to edit the text here and rotate it. Let's call this the form car. You can see the text is much too small. I can use the slider to increase it. Too large, go back down in preview mode. Or here, going to click, I can adjust my angle. And if we rotate, you'll see that in embossing mode, you can see the depth here. And we can change that as well. You have the option to emboss or engrave. We're really excited about this. Finally, texturing. Surface textures are really common on injection molded parts. They're used to improve the aesthetics or the functionality of the part. SLA is the only 3D printing technology with enough resolution to actually print these surface features. So here in PreForm, I'm going to open up our texturing menu, apply a texture to my part. I can change the size and the amplitude. You can also choose to import your own textures as PNG files. Now our texture has been applied. From here, I would just support the part and send it to the printer. Nice textured steering wheel. All right, for SLS, we're also going to be releasing part cages. Post-processing can be tedious when you have small or fragile parts. So here I have my steering wheel that I've been working with. I'm gonna shrink it down. My kids need some toy steering wheels. Come on in here. I think my kids need 16 toy steering wheels. We can see we have a bunch of them. I'm going to come over here to the cage feature. We can highlight all of our steering wheels, give them a label, select our models to cage, and you can see that we get this really nice little cube cage that has a label on the top with our name. This cage is going to follow you through the whole post-processing workflow. We're really excited to offer some of the most powerful and easy to use software in 3D printing. Now back to Max to talk about our platform.
Wow, that was a lot of awesome products we've launched today. Hardware, software, materials, a lot of amazing new capabilities. I'm pretty sure this is the biggest announcement we've ever made. And we're not done yet. I got a couple more announcements to make. But this next section is going to be a little bit different than what we've announced before. We're really at the beginning of a new phase of the company, and I want to show you what that looks like. So today we announced the 4L, and it's an awesome product. I've been using it, makes great big parts, but it also is a milestone for the company because it's the completion of the 4th generation of our stereolithography technology. We've been working on this since the Form 1, and with the Form 1, we laid out this vision for making 3D printing more accessible, easier to use, and making it possible to go from a digital model to a real thing, making that process as seamless as possible. Now, it's turned out to be pretty hard to do this, and it's taken a lot of innovations along the way. Things like auto-generated supports, mess-free resin dispensing, flexible build platform, remote monitoring, and many more innovations. They've all come together to advance our mission, which is to build the tools that make it possible for anyone to bring their ideas to life. We can keep going further on this. You could imagine an even easier to use system, and there's still more to do here, but I think we've gotten far enough on this first sort of challenge of digital design to real part that we can take on a new challenge and go beyond what you can do with a works out-of-the-box system. Because our focus on a works out-of-the-box system, it means we've had to focus on what are the most common needs, and we haven't been able to answer every possible thing that you can do with 3D printing. So people ask us questions like, can I print this specialty material, or can I print at higher resolution, or can I automate job setup, can I speed up this part, and many, many more questions like that. In the past, we've had to say, maybe we're working on it or not yet, and it's motivated us to try to get more features and capabilities out there faster, but we've realized this isn't going to solve everything that can be done in 3D printing. 3D printing is too big for us to take on alone. So the real way to answer all these questions is not just for Formlabs to build the solutions. We have to do that for a lot of it for sure. The way to answer all these questions is, yes, here are the keys to the system. You can build it yourself, or even better, someone's actually already built that in our ecosystem and you can get access to it. When I say build it yourself, I don't know if this will apply to every one of our users. If you're happy with an out-of-the-box system where you can go from a 3D model to a real thing and that covers your needs, then great, keep using that. But there's a subset of you that I'm going to call developers who I think want something more. And there's a few types of developers in 3D printing. There's people developing new products made with 3D printing. There's people running 3D printing factories that care about costs and yield. And there's people developing new materials for 3D printing. So for this set of developers, we want to give them the tools where they can push the limits of what they can do in 3D printing. Now, this is a big challenge, and whenever we try to do something difficult, we always try to stand on the shoulders of giants, learn from history. In computing, all of the biggest and most valuable and most loved platforms out there, computing platforms, they're also developer platforms. So Microsoft Windows or Apple with iOS and iPhone, they're both great out-of-the-box products that you can use as well as great systems to build more applications on. And that's a big part of what makes them valuable to people. Building a good developer platform is often critical to the success of these systems. So it's not just about like, is it open? Can you do something with it? But is it a great developer platform? Is it easy to use? Is it powerful? Is it scalable? And does it let you get to a lot of users? And that's why we've waited until now to work on a developer platform, because we felt we had to get the core right. And we had to build this great out-of-the-box system. We had to build amazing technology before we would have the basis to build an excellent developer platform. So today, we're introducing the Formlabs developer platform. It's got a few different components. First up is open material mode. With open material mode, you can run any material on any of our printers. Now, we're not the first system that lets you run different materials on it, but for the most part, the systems that do that, they are lower performing or more targeted at hobbyists. And I think what we're bringing to the field is the first open material system on a best-in-class, high-performing technology. So with Form 4, for example, if you want to get a new material running on it, you've got the best technology to build on. You've got temperature control and heating, which makes printing more consistent. You've got a mixer that lets you run more viscous and highly filled and settling materials. You've got resin dispensing, long lifetime tanks. All these things contribute to being the best platform to develop a new material on. Going back to that question, can I print the specialty material? Well, yes, people are developing a range of specialty materials now with open materials mode. A company called Polymed that's developing a bioresorbable polymer. This is not just a biocompatible material, it's one that can be absorbed into the body, and that enables new medical device applications. Another example is from Figure Engineering. They're developing a material for masking electroplated parts. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. A lot of other interesting materials developments in process. Next up is Print Settings Editor. So if you want to bring a new material to our system, you'll need to tune the print process and get it working with that specific material. Even for one of our existing materials, there's always room to get more performance out of them. The settings that we provide out of the box, they're great, but they're meant to cover the general purpose use case, and for any given part, you can usually push the performance even further. You can get more resolution, you can get better print speed, and Print Settings Editor lets you do that. Quick example that answers the question from before, can I print at higher resolution? You say you want to print on TUF 2000 on your Form 4, out of the box we've got 50 micron settings, layer thickness, but we don't have 25 micron. So you can quickly open up Print Settings Editor, create a new setting starting from the existing one, and change the layer thickness to 25 microns. That would print as is, but if you want to dial in the accuracy, you can adjust some of the exposures. And there you go. You have a settings file ready to go that'll let you run at 25 microns. And the last piece of the developer platform is Formlabs API. So the software we've built today is meant to be easy to use out of the box with a great interface for a human user. But you can also build software that interfaces with other software through an API, an application programming interface. And this lets you automate and build new capabilities in software that weren't possible before. Our API is an HTTP and JSON-based API that you can either interface with a local install of PreForm or use over the internet. Over time, we're going to expose as much of the features of PreForm and fleet control as we can through this API. And as we're doing that, we've been building a couple of demo applications to show you, give you an idea of what is possible. So let's take that question, can I automate job setup? We've got this app we call autobatch.py, and what this does, if you're a high volume type user, say a dental lab, and you're crunching through a lot of 3D models every day, setting up jobs, this can automate that process Here it's monitoring a folder for new files that you want to print, and then it's going to automatically create a build platform ready to go to print with those files. But what's really cool here is it's actually figuring out how many of those parts fit on one platform, and then, as necessary, making a second job and so on to complete all those files that you want to print. So in this case, it needed 2 jobs, and after it's done with that, it can go one step further and upload that automatically to a cloud queue and get that automatically running on your print farm. So that's one demo. Next one up answers the question of, can I speed up this part? This actually combines the API and print settings editor in one demo. As I mentioned, there's always more performance if you're fine-tuning for a specific part, but you've got to do that on a part-by-part basis, and that's what speedrun.py helps you do. You give it a starting job file and starting settings file. It knows about a couple different ways that you can tune for speed, and it will create new settings files using those speedups, then check how fast the estimated print time would be for that job with those settings files, give you a nice little report of that output, then create those jobs, and if you like, automatically upload them to printers. And so you can very quickly go through the process of optimizing a job for speed. And you can kind of think of this as like a process engineer in a box. Now, with both these apps, they're pretty short Python scripts, a couple hundred lines of code, and we'll be publishing them with documentation for our API, so you can think of these as starting points that you can build on. But of course, they are really just a small demonstration of what you can build with an extensible API, and you can go much further than this. So to sum it up, the developer platform has 3 main components. We've got open material mode, which you can buy and add on to any one of our printers, PreForm settings editor, which comes with PreForm, and Formlabs API is also free and included with all of our systems. So that's developer platform. I'm really excited to build the future of 3D printing with you. Let's get to work.
Wow, this was a crazy year. We got the Form 4, the Form 4L, 9 new resins ranging from completely new line of general purpose materials, fast model resin, clear cast for investment casting, 2 new powders for colors and for higher elongation, tons of accessories, post-processing for both product lines, and the developer platform that Max has covered. But we know that this is not enough. One of the chief complaints about our platform is that you can't reach all applications because of the material pricing. We took big steps this year. We went from $149 to $99, and with this announcement to $79 per liter when it comes to our SLA resin pricing. We cut it almost in half in just the span of 6 months. But we need to go further. And that's why I'm really proud to announce that with our bulk material pricing, we are going to be able to reach $35 per liter on our SLA resins and $45 per kilo on our SLS powders. That's game changing. It will mean that you will be able to use 3D printing for a much wider range of applications, all the way to volume production. This is our new floor for both of our materials. Clearly, we're trying to remove all obstacles when it comes to printing one part or printing in volume. And in 2025 and beyond, we're going to continue to focus on this, on the path to building the tools that make it possible for anyone to bring their ideas to life. Thank you very much for your attention, and looking forward to seeing you next time.
Introducing Form 4 and Form 4L. Accelerate the way you work. With 3D printing technology that's blazing fast. And ideal for solving any problem, regardless of size. Keep your production running with an unmatched print success rate. Built on reliable hardware that was engineered for years of use. To use your time most efficiently, leverage a workflow anyone can learn in 15 minutes. Featuring instant material changes, comprehensive software, and automated post-processing. produce stunning parts that rival injection molding, and always fit. With 50-micron pixels, advanced pixel smoothing, and light touch supports. Tackle any problem with our ever-expanding range of high-performance resins, or opt for open material mode to use any resin. And customize your print performance with Print Settings Editor. Built on our next-generation low-force display print engine, featuring a high-power backlight unit, light processing unit, proprietary release texture, and a flexible film tank. Form 4 and Form 4L deliver extreme speed, reliability, and print quality at any scale. A new era of industrial 3D printing.